Let me be honest with you, I can't take these breaks. Waiting 2 weeks is too much for my little brain to take. On the other hand though, I am glad that Fujimoto can really take part 2 at his own pace. It's shown in his artwork, and I'm sure it'll show with the story as well. Definitely feels like it's already doing that. Anyways though, Xyvon here, and let's talk about Chapter 104. If I had to give a quick synopsis of Chainsaw Man Chapter 104, it would be Denji and Asa finally meet, and Yoru's insecurities. Now, of course, Denji and Asa meeting and their conversation is definitely the highlight of Chapter 104. But the brief intro, which serves as our only talking point from Yoru, is pretty important as well. When we talked about 103, I mentioned that 104 would go back to Asa's point of view, and while partially correct, something even better happened. The whole intro portion with Yoru throwing a fit is very important to her character. Up until this point, we've only seen Yoru as a heartless monster, being an unironic voice in Asa's head telling her to do bad things. And while this part doesn't change that selfish behavior that she's exhibited, it serves to indicate that she's a bit more human than expected, afraid that she will be forgotten due to Chainsaw Man, as she points out there hasn't been any wars since the First World War. That now, war has been reduced to things of entertainment in the forms of movies and video games. Also, learning that Yoru and Chainsaw Man had previously fought. This part does show that Asa wants to learn more about Yoru. Not too surprising since, she has to live with her. At this point, the story swaps over to Denji's point of view, continuing to enforce the idea that he really hasn't changed that much, allowing a girl to use him as a chair in exchange for some money. Can we talk about how in current times, I don't think many people would accept that offer, as way too many people are turned on by being sit on? I just don't see what they get out of it unless that's their thing. Not kink shaming or anything, just saying. Like, why not just grab an actual chair instead of sitting on a dude for money? Anyways, Hirofumi then calls for Denji, continuing to discuss the needed secrecy of Denji's true identity. Hirofumi pays Denji to be his chair so that they can talk a bit longer, and I'd do that for free. Remember how I said this? I just don't see what they get out of it unless that's their thing. Not kink shaming or anything, just saying. Like, why not just grab an actual chair instead of sitting on a dude for money? Just ignore that right now, please and thank you. In order to keep Denji's identity a secret, Hirofumi agrees to help him get a girlfriend. And on this page, the more I read, there was this thing going on in my brain saying, oh no. Then it hits these final panels where Hirofumi asks, what's your type? And Denji replies with, girls who are desperate for a boyfriend. And I was like... My brain instantly flashed back to Yoru asking Hirofumi to be her boyfriend right after meeting. Apparently so did Hirofumi's, because the next panel is Hirofumi, Denji, and Asa all on the roof together. So there we have it. Asa and Denji have finally met, and it turns out a lot differently than I was expecting. I'm going to summarize this quickly, as only one part of this conversation sticks out to me in particular. Not saying the overall conversation isn't important because of it, it gives us a clear answer of how the vast majority of people who are neutral or hate Chainsaw Man feel about him. And it all starts with Denji asking why Asa hated Chainsaw Man. She makes 3 fair points, which are the basis of what Denji was and currently is. She says he's filthy, which is true. He never leaves a fight not covered in blood, even if it is a necessity for him to keep going. She says he doesn't use his brain. This is also true. Even when he does try to be tactical in a fight, he goes about it in the dumbest way possible. She says he only saves women and it's blatantly horny. And do I even have to say that's true? We all know it is. What this did show me, though, more than anything, is that at least at this current moment, Asa is viewing Chainsaw Man partially through our perspective. If you don't look deeper at Denji as a character and just take him on the surface, which a lot of people do, those are 3 of the qualities that really stand out about him. She's just saying what a lot of Chainsaw Man readers see. Asa, being the voice of the audience, at least in these specific panels, could end up being a reoccurring theme. But we'll have to see. The chapter ends, though, with Denji telling Asa he knows all these things about Chainsaw Man because he is him. Asa doesn't believe him, calls him a loser, and walks away. And Hirofumi commenting that not being the way to go about telling people. Which means Denji is 100% about to get really creative with the way he tries to tell people going forward. We know our boy isn't one to give up that easily. For the first time, though, I'm not too sure where we go from here. Does Denji keep trying to convince Asa? How do these three characters' journeys continue together besides the ongoing promise for Hirofumi to get Denji a girlfriend? I honestly don't know, and it looks like we will have to wait until September 27th after another week-long break to see where the story is going. As a very quick side note, I did watch and finish the Cyberpunk anime that came out today, and it was, I'm going to hold my opinions to myself, but I will be making a video on it. The one thing I will say is I absolutely love the soundtrack, but that will be coming up soon. Peace.